In the working schedule, you can use configured shifts, which are preset shifts for specific days of the week for employees with regular work patterns. To configure shifts for employees, you will need to go to the Time and Attendance section and click on the Schedule Generator tab. Employees can then be grouped in two different ways to configure their shifts. You can configure shifts by grouping employees by job schedule. By clicking on one of the job schedules in the left column before configuring the shifts, you are specifying that all employees assigned to that job schedule will have the shift configuration in the column on the right. You can also configure shifts by grouping employees by job schedule and department. By clicking on one of the job schedules in the left column and then a department in the middle column before configuring the shifts, you are specifying that all employees assigned to that job schedule in the specified department will have the shift configuration in the column on the right. There are two types of shift configurations you can create from the schedule generator. A fixed shift is when an employee will be working the same shifts on specific days each week. After clicking on the job schedule or the job schedule and the department, in the column on the right, select the relevant shift template for each day of the week. A fixed rotation is when an employee's shifts rotate during the week, but will reset each week. To set this up, click the Switch to Rotation button in the column on the right after you have clicked on the job schedule or the job schedule and the department. In the column on the right, click plus Add New to start creating your rotation pattern using shifts from your shift templates, offs, and rests. When adding a new shift to the pattern, there is an option to add the new shift to the same day as the previous shift by disabling this toggle. The toggle is enabled by default to add shifts to the next day. When you have created the pattern, you can select which day of the week the rotation will start. When a fixed rotation is set, it will ignore days that fall outside the job schedule's working days and continue with the pattern. After you configure the shifts, you can generate a schedule for a specified date range, and the configured shifts will be added to the employee's working schedule. If you would like to see what would be generated based on the configured shifts, you can turn on the filter Show Configured Shifts in the working schedule to view the configured shifts. When generating the working schedule, shifts will be added based on the configured shifts set in Talexio. To generate the schedule from the Time and Attendance section, click on the Working Schedule tab and click on the plus Generate Schedule button. Select whom you want to generate this schedule for and for when based on the following details. The date range that shifts should be generated for. Enabling the Generate Globally toggle will generate a schedule for all employees within the company who have shifts configured. Enabling the Don't Generate Schedule on a Full Day of Leave toggle means a shift will not be generated on days when an employee has a full day of leave already booked. Enabling the Override Existing Shifts toggle will remove all unapproved shifts for the selected employees in the date range specified. You can use the employee, department, or job schedule filters to generate the schedule for a specific employee, department, or job schedule. If there are employees with personalized rotation patterns, you can edit the generated shifts from the Edit Personalized Rotation button. Click Generate Schedule, and the working schedule will be filled with all the configured shifts in an unpublished state. For more information, please visit our Help Center and search for Configuring Shifts with the Schedule Generator.